All right, everybody, welcome to the JAX Local Radio Show. We got Raesean, the Razorblade Benton in the house tonight. He's an MMA fighter, bouncer, singer-songwriter, a personal trainer at the gym, and porn star, right?
Definitely not, Jamie.
Mark that down. Yeah, not a porn star, folks. So get ready. Here we go. JAX Local Radio Show. Let's get it. And you're now tuned in to JAX Local Radio Show. JAX Local Radio Show. JAX Local Radio Show. JAX Local Radio Show. Alright, welcome back to the JAX Local Radio Show. We got the Razorblade in the house.
What's up?
So can you tell us a little about yourself, born and raised and all that?
Sure, yeah. Well, I'm from the Jersey Shore. I feel like a lot of people know that, but a lot of people don't.
I didn't know it.
The Jersey Shore, like the
TV show?
TV show, yeah, like literally right there.
He missed his calling. Should have been on the show.
Yeah, well, so, yeah, definitely from the Jersey Shore. Moved here when I was 12 in Jacksonville, and I've pretty much been here ever since, so, yeah.
Any nicknames growing up, or?
Well, I mean, I got the name, the Razorblade. Actually, it was the Razorblade, but kind of before I started like officially fighting, because from like friends and stuff. And when I started fighting, one of my buddies, Polar Bear, actually started calling me Razor, and it was like, oh, that's kind of like my name or whatever. He's like, oh, you're so sharp or whatever, and so I guess it kind of stuck,
Mm-hmm. Since we're talking about the MMA, so you're involved in the sport?
Yeah, of course. I'm a trainer. I'm a coach for other martial artists. I'm also fight as well. Currently, haven't competed this year due to COVID. There's a lot of fights going on now. I had a small little injury that kind of set me back earlier in June from work, but I'm definitely looking to fight at least like 3 times next year for sure.
Now, when did you start fighting?
Started training when I was 14 years old, and I had my first fight about 9 months later when I was 15. So 2009 is when I started.
So how long did you train for your first fight?
Oh, 9 months, yeah. Yeah, so it was 9 months of training, and then I want to say, let's see. Actually, I think it was, no, I'm sorry. It was a whole year before I had my first fight. It was a whole year.
And so what happened in the first fight, and what was it?
Okay.
I think you said something was like before a championship?
Yeah, my first fight was for the IKF World Classics. It was back then, actually, MMA wasn't even legal in Florida. It's changed a lot now, but so we did a lot of kickboxing matches, and my first fight was for a kickboxing world title. So it was at the World Marriott Hotel in Orlando. Pretty big fight. There was a whole bunch of fighters and stuff. So yeah.
Isn't that kind of odd to give your first fight to? Give somebody their first fight as a championship fight.
Yeah.
And doesn't that make the other fighters mad?
Well, I think everybody's fighting for the title. I mean, it's different divisions. It's like a tournament. So honestly, I remember asking my coach, I was like, man, do you think I'm ready? Like, this is like the big leagues already. He's like, oh yeah, you're ready, And I think I was ready, but I think, as far as, my first fight, sometimes it just doesn't always go your way, because I actually didn't win my first fight. It took a couple fights, and it's actually like that for a lot of people that I know. It takes a couple fights before you start getting some wins.
What was the result of the fight?
Actually, every fight that I've lost has always gone to decision, so it's always been in the judge's hands, and that's one thing that you got to learn, is to never leave the fight in the judge's hands.
And how did you feel about the fight afterwards?
That fight was pretty crazy. Just that it was great because I met some amazing people there. I met some people that went on to become UFC fighters. I met this really good this girl Tisha Torres. She's a UFC fighter. That's where I met her, and she's, I guess, apparently the first person I met that was like a UFC fighter. So back then she was like 19, and I think it was a pretty good experience, honestly. It was a kind of weird situation because there was one death there. So I actually at my fight, and it kind of scared my family a little bit. So there was this girl, I forget her name, but she actually got a concussion, and she actually won the fight. So when you get a concussion, you can't get another concussion. So because she got a concussion, she won the fight. She had to fight the next day, and she got another concussion. They had to carry her out the ring. I remember watching them like carry her body out the ring. It was like kind of scary for a lot of people, but I mean, you know.
You said she passed?
She passed away, yeah.
Oh, wow.
My very first fight, there was a death. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's very unique. It doesn't happen too
that often, but it's like one of those things, like you prepare yourself to die, like when you go into a cage or a ring. You got to prepare yourself for like this your last fight, you know. So that's kind of one of the things that you just got to have that mindset for, because it very well could be, you know.
When you had your fight, did you feel like afterwards, like you did some good things and you did some, you know, mistakes? Of
course.
Or did you feel like you just felt like you got dominated, and how did it motivate you for the next fight?
I think my fighting style kind of made it. I've always been like an MMA style like fighter. So my fighting style, when it was strictly kickboxing, it's called international kickboxing. I was doing things like so for international kickboxing, I would catch kicks, and when I catch a kick, you can't hold on to it. You have to let it go. You can catch a kick and throw one punch, and I think I was doing things that was more MMA orientated, and I think that's part of the reason why I was losing, because once I got into MMA, that's when I started winning and doing very well.
So when did you win your first fight?
It was about after my third fight. It's when I actually started winning fights. I started getting the hang of it and getting the feel. I was a lot more experienced then, you know.
Oh, where was it at?
That was at Pure Nightclub, actually.
So local?
Yeah, it was like 24. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I don't think that was my first fight. I think my first fight that I won. It could have been 20. It could have been there or the 2013 or 2014. Actually, that may have been my first fight that I won. I can't remember, to be honest with you.
The fight behind us. Mm-hmm. Where is that at?
That's actually at Aqua Nightclub in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So actually, funny thing about this fight. So I won this fight in 22 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
knockout. What was it?
It was a submission, rear naked choke. It was really fast. It was the fastest fight of the night. But actually, the head of security, his name's Stitch. He came up to me, and he's like, "Hey, you like just offered me a job," and it was like, it's like, "Oh yeah, heck yeah! I've always wanted to be a bouncer, you know." So yeah, that's how I got into working security.
Hey man, you just put that guy to sleep. Can you put some of these customers to sleep?
Right,
They're acting out.
Hey, I mean, it works. I'm actually using my skill and able to use it for good, and you know, make money from it. So,
all right, we're gonna go a little commercial break, and we'll be right back.
What the fuck?
Lay awake in my bed, playing memories in my head, fighting this war and battling my demons. I'm trying to see the brighter side, I'm trying to make it out alive, but it just seems too hard to try to fight these thoughts of suicide. 'Cause I don't want to be the only person searching for the one. I don't want to be the only person searching for the one. And how could you cheat on a man that just wanted to give you his love, give you his heart, and give you his soul? Tossing and turning all night, knowing you're sleeping just fine, with him right there by your side, when my whole year's been a lie. But you want nothing to do with me, but keep breaking my heart, girl, to set me free. I'm drowning, you're pushing me too deep, just wishing that you would just let me be. Cause I don't want to be the only person searching for the one. Well, I don't want to be the only person searching for the one. Well, how could you cheat on a man that just wanted to give you his love, give you his heart, and give you his soul? I thought you would be the one and only woman to always be faithful, always be loyal, and tell me the truth. Cause I don't want to be the only person searching for the one.
All right, welcome back. That was Raesean, the Razorblade Benton, with the song called For the One. Told you he's multi-talented. He's got the guitar. That's a new guitar. What kind of guitar is that?
It's Taylor 224 CEK DLX. Kind of like a dream guitar. I've always wanted a Taylor for the past 14 years, and finally was able to afford one. You know.
Tell them how many guitars you got.
Oh, that's my 9th guitar. Yeah.
Always seeing you posting. I want to buy this guitar. Like
My
you already.
babies. And they all do different things though. So, yeah.
So what got you into MMA?
Well, as far as martial arts, definitely. I'm a huge Jackie Chan fan. So, growing up watching Rush Hour, the Rush Hour series, the Tuxedo, Medallion, like, all the Jackie Chan, even the older ones like what was it like? There's like this one police one. I can't even remember what it was, but I used to watch all the old school Jackie Chan movies, Rumble in the Bronx, like. They was just so cool seeing martial arts like that.
Rumble in the Bronx is what got me hip to
Yeah,
it.
it was super cool.
What about some Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee's pretty cool. I watched some the standard like Enter the Dragon stuff. I was more of the style of Jackie Chan though, to be honest. He was just all over the place, very environmental fighter. So it was really cool. He was doing everything, fighting a whole bunch of people at once. It was crazy.
So you started off with the Kung Fu, then what got you watching like MMA? You started watching MMA and stuff like that?
Actually, after I learned guitar when I was younger, I wanted to do something physical. And so there was an MMA gym, shout out to Smiley's Combat Athletics, where I'm still at. That gym was right next to my house back in the day. So ended up joining that gym, and I just fell in love with it. And it was just like, man, this is what I need to be doing. I was like, I found like my calling. It felt like.
Has there been like a fighter in the MMA or UFC that's caught your attention? Like the first one that ever caught your attention?
Yeah. So back then, so we're talking like 2009, 2010. Like back then, I think Anderson Silva was running the game. He was
unstoppable.
He held the title for a long time, and he's still fighting. I watched this fight him with this young guy, and this young guy was a badass, just throwing some crazy like hook kicks and spinning heel hooks, and just throwing all this stuff. And Anderson Silva was just keeping up right with them, even though Anderson was like supposed to retire like when I started, but he's still fighting and he still got it, So he was always one of those guys.
Have you met any fighters, MMA, UFC? Have you met?
Yeah, man, I've been doing this for a long time, so I mean, you get into contact with a lot of cool people. I've probably met about 50 UFC fighters. I probably name off the top of my head.
Throw some out there.
Mike Brown, like Hector Lombard, Royce Gracie, was the very first UFC fighter. Tim Kennedy, we trained with a couple times. Let's see, Nate Diaz, is a big one. Anthony.
He's like one of the ones I would like to meet.
He
seems wild. Is he humble?
I wouldn't say that. I would. I mean, a lot of them are pretty focused.
Mm-hmm.
I think all the UFC fighters are pretty focused and like determined. I've noticed. Just to name a few. I mean, I can go on. The list goes on.
And what's you trained with some UFC fighters?
Yeah, I mean, well, they come and do seminars. Like my coach, one of my professors, Tom DeBlas, is a UFC fighter. He was a UFC fighter, also was in Bellator, and currently signed to ONE FC. So I mean, we train with UFC fighters all the time. We had the girl I was telling you about, Tisha Torres, her fiance, and Raquel Pennington. It was Amanda Beth Cooper, Gray Maynard, and Benson Henderson, which was actually used to be champion. I think it was lightweight champion, something like that, for the UFC. They all came and trained not too long ago at my gym, and they just kind of got some work in. So a lot of times UFC fighters, they actually come. We all just kind of train together. It's kind of like a normal thing for fighters. Yeah.
Do you know how the UFC started?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like I was saying before, Royce Gracie, that was the first pretty much UFC fighter. Royce, that was actually the Gracies, which is, I have the symbol right here, Gracie symbol. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu started by a family, and this man, Helio Gracie, kind of started Jiu-Jitsu with his brother. And so what happened was Jorge and Gracie wanted to show the world that Jiu-Jitsu was the best. So he was like, let's put Jiu-Jitsu against all the other martial arts in the world. Put them in a cage, no rules, just
street fighters too, right?
Yeah, anybody. They wanted to show the world that Jiu-Jitsu was the best. So they took the most normal-looking guy out of all of them. Royce Gracie was just normal. He looked like an average Joe off the street,
You know how big he is? I can't remember.
He's pretty tall. He's
tall and skinny though.
He's tall and skinny. Yeah, he's like
6'2".
He's like 6'1", I think.
Yeah, I know he's like between 6 and 6'2".
Yeah, he's
not that big at all.
He's a little taller. No, he's not like one of those jack guys. I mean, he fought a guy that was 400 pounds back then. They didn't have any rules or weight classes like that. So he won. He was winning all the championship fights, and he showed the world what Jiu-Jitsu was, and actually progressed on to become what we know as MMA, because we started sanctioning and started making more rules. Big John McCarthy started making this rule set for MMA. And
it was bare knuckle almost, wasn't it, back then?
It was it was bare knuckle. There's one guy, Art Jimerson, he came out with one glove. I guess I don't remember. Maybe he couldn't find his other glove. It was kind of weird, but yeah, it was like crazy back then.
All right, we're gonna go take another commercial break, and we'll be right back after this.
You want that chick screaming while you're boning. What about like a sweet, like a really cool fucking name, like Razor?
Razor.
All right, welcome back to the JAX Local Radio Show. Got the Razorblade in the house. So how do you feel about the progression of, MMA from start to finish, how it's progressed?
Okay, yeah.
You told me about the beginning and
For sure.
so
So I mean, back when I started, it was completely different from what it is now. So back then, I feel like it was some savages. Like there was like people just like brawlers, and they, a lot of them had some good technique and skill. But back then, it was like there was story behind it. It was almost like the WWE. Like there was, you had these two people feuding and stuff, and it was just great. Like it was really raw and pure. That was like I feel like the golden era of like 2000 to 2010 was amazing for MMA, because we had like Chuck Liddell, the Iceman, Rampage Jackson, just people that were just brawling, destroying people. It was so fun to watch. Now it's become definitely more of like a
technical,
a sport, very technical. We've got some monsters in the UFC right now. There's just guys that are so technical, and it's become, I don't know if it's been the fact that they changed. Like back then we used to have I had a red mohawk. It was like just giant mohawk. You had style. Mm-hmm. You can wear your own shorts. You can wear whatever you wanted. You had sponsors. You had your own style. Now it's like everything's so set, and it's more like the NFL or NBA now. It's kind of like more of like a league, like very professional now. So still got some great monsters. It's progressed. The levels changed. So you got so much more technique. Martial arts progresses throughout the years, and they just become a lot more in depth. Yeah.
I was gonna go through some dream matchups with you.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Cool.
So I don't think some of these people, I don't think they ever fought, but
okay.
See what you think the results would be. Conor McGregor versus George St. Pierre.
So we got two goats right off the bat. So George St. Pierre held his title for forever. Conor held two titles. So you got some great fighters. I believe that both fought at like 155. I think Conor's a little smaller, but if they were to fight at 155, man, I would like to see. I think GSP would probably have that, to be honest. I love Conor. He's a great fighter.
In the boxing, ground and pound.
I'm thinking that it would stay standing. I mean, GSP's got like great. He's got good wrestling defense. So I think honestly that would stay standing, and I think that it would probably go either TKO or to a decision. I'm seeing more of a decision though towards GSP for sure.
Let's go to some heavyweights.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar, John Jones.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny you say that, because they're two great guys. Brock Lesnar is a free agent right now, and I think John Jones actually just called him out and was like, we can run it anytime.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's crazy. John is a great fighter. He's a lanky guy. You got Brock, who's just beefcake, just straight muscle monster, It'd be a very interesting fight now.
John Jones, a high school and college champion.
Yeah,
I think he's Olympic champion.
They both
wrestling.
They both are great wrestlers. Mm-hmm. There will be some wrestling. There will be some takedowns for sure. Brock's probably going to go for the knockout, but I think John Jones is so crafty. He'd be able to slip in, and he might be able to finish it, but I think you'll have a hard time whenever Brock does take him down. I can see Brock taking him down, and I don't think John Jones will be able to get back up. It'll be hard.
All right. What about Tito Ortiz versus your coach?
Coach, Professor Tom DeBlas. Now, the reason why I say this is because they actually, I think they called each other out once when they were both fighting in Bellator. I think there's a lot of people. Tom is one of the best jiu-jitsu in the world. He's like top-notch, one of the best jiu-jitsu. He's a world champion, like I don't even know how many times. But I think everybody wants to submit Tom, and I think that they get overzealous. I think Tito would probably go in, he'd probably shoot the takedown and everything. Even if he does get the takedown, man, it's gonna end in a heel hook or something. There's gonna be something he's not prepared for. I'm very strongly confident in my coach for sure. Yeah.
Let's get in some like boxer style.
Yeah, let's do it.
What about Chuck Liddell versus Forrest Griffin?
That would be a straight brawl haymaker fight. That would be, man, that would be
3
great.
rounds of busted up faces.
Yeah, that'd be a great fight. I would love to see Chuck come on top. We're talking about Prime, right? Kind of like
Yeah.
Prime. I mean, they don't really fight like that anymore. I mean, not like they used to. Chuck doesn't really fight like he used to. But yeah, for sure. If they're in the Prime, man, yeah, that'd be crazy.
All right, let's go to some fantasy world type stuff.
Okay,
It's
let's
not
do it.
Real MMA, whatever. Back in the '80s, these twos were always matched up, and they were the badass in the movies, and we would always wonder like, who you think will win in these battles? Sylvester Stallone in the Rambo, or Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando?
It's so crazy because I just watched both those movies, and for like the first time actually, and I gotta go with. We're talking about they are both some badasses, but I would have to go with my boy Arnold. Man, he's a monster. He's first of all he's giant, he's strong, and in his movies we're talking about characters that they portray. This guy was just. Man, he was just destroying multiple people. I remember one scene he fights like a full army on the island. And he's just like, I'm just killing everybody. Man, Rambo fought some cops. Like, you know what I mean?
From far range in the woods.
Yeah, in the woods. Like, this guy just went into their hacienda.
Hacienda.
Exactly, and just destroyed them.
And
It was
Arnold's
great.
6'2", I think, and Sylvester's like 5'7".
Is he that small?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's yeah.
What about, let's go like superhero stuff.
Let's do it. I love superheroes.
Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Man, Deadpool is one of my favorites. He's one of my OG.
And they both can't kind of die.
And both can't die. Man, it would be some body parts flying everywhere. Here's the thing.
And they're like best friends too. And
Yeah, they
Well,
they
the
both
actors
heal.
are.
Oh yeah, the actors. Goodness. I think Wolverine, as much as I love Deadpool, I think Wolverine's just smarter. I mean, Deadpool's crafty, but I think Wolverine would find a way to pull out on top. As much as I wish Deadpool would win.
what about Superman versus Batman?
That's like happened so many times already. Batman has a contingency plan just in case
I
Superman.
just don't know
wanna
how
act up.
Batman beats Superman. I mean,
It's a guy-
he's a human versus
versus
a guy
an
that doesn't
alien.
die.
Yeah, definitely Superman every single time. Yeah.
But they have Batman beating Superman.
Yeah,
a
they
couple
do.
times.
Yep, they do.
What about Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee?
This fight's
They actually,
already happened.
yeah, they actually,
I do think, man, I love Chuck Norris. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu during the childhood brothers. Man, as far as, I mean, these are Hollywood fighters, you know. So I'm thinking, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Which era are we talking about? Are we talking about the 70s?
yeah. I mean,
Like-
they did fight. They won.
fought. Yeah.
Who won? That was Bruce Lee.
Bruce
both
Lee.
time?
Yeah.
I think they
so
fought twice.
Bruce Lee. I think Bruce Lee would come on top. But I think, yeah, I think maybe Bruce Lee
What about Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Jackie Chan?
versus my boy. Man, Jackie Chan's a small.
Let's be real though.
Okay,
He's a small guy.
He's a small guy. These are Hollywood fighters. Man, John can actually. I mean, they both can got some great style, but I think John probably might come on top. He's bigger. He's strong. He's got really solid kicks. Jackie Chan's kind of flashy, you know, and that doesn't always pull through, you know. So I think realistically, Jean-Claude Van Damme would probably win.
What about Thor versus Aquaman?
Thor versus Aquaman.
Yeah, the ones that play the character,
So we're talking about
celebrities that play them.
So we're talking.
Way they look.
We're talking about like Jason Momoa, Aquaman versus Chris Hemsworth, Thor.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh my goodness. Oh, that would be
First
the
would be-
matchup of the year.
So first-
Somebody make that happen.
So
Oh my
first,
goodness.
as a superhero character, who would
Okay.
win? And if they fought in real life of actors.
Definitely, I would say Thor. I mean, wouldn't Thor just like make a lightning strike the water and just like zap him or something?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like Thor, God of Thunder, would definitely like win for sure.
What about in real life?
In real life,
Chris.
Chris isn't that big in real life. He's I mean, Jason Momoa is like 6'4",
Oh.
ginormous guy. He's Hawaiian, like he's just one of those like savages. I got Jason Momoa on that one for sure.
What about, let's go WWE.
Let's do it.
Rock versus Stone Cold in real life.
In real life, we got to talk now. I'm a big follower of The Rock. Rock's like one of my guys I look up to, The Rock. So I would have to say now, these guys are both just natural badasses, like some of the most badass men on the planet. They did some crazy stuff. Don't let the the theatrics fool you. These guys are some badasses, and they're still in the gym. I see The Rock more in the gym. He's doing good stuff in the gym every day. He's putting in work still. I don't see Stone Cold doing that much stuff. So as far as if they were to fight in real life, I think The Rock would take it, to be honest. I mean, they're both badasses, but I want to say The Rock is still training, he's still putting in work. So I want to see him go up on top.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming to the Hacienda. We got Razor,
What's up?
DJ Jackson in the house. Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah,
You got any
for sure.
shout outs you want to give out?
Oh, definitely. I want to shout out to my coaches, James Smiley, great guy. He's taught me everything I know. Huge role model for me. Another role model, like I said, Professor Tom DeBlas, great guy out of Ocean County, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Combat Athletics, my whole team, fight team, Smiley, Combat Athletics fight team at Smiley's Academy. Definitely check out those gyms. Ocean County, if you're in New Jersey, check out Smiley's and off Wells Road in Orange Park. Come have some fun and come learn some cool stuff. All right, so those are my two big shout outs. All right.
All right.
Yep.
You're gonna see more of Raesean. He's been on the DTF show.
Yep.
We did some drunken impromptu freestyle challenges.
Yeah, it was fun.
And I'm sure we'll do more of those.
Yep.
So, all right, we out of here. Till next time.
Thanks for watching.
Peace. All right, everybody, welcome to the JAX Local Radio Show. We got Raesean Razor. He's gonna sign the guitar for us.
Kind of had a signature to it. That Johnny Hancock.
Yeah. If you'd like to help support the show promoting local talent, please cash app us at Money Signs JAX Local Radio Show. And I want to win Dixie, and I seen this bitch named Trixie, and she gave me that, and she liked them like some pixies, like some pixie dust. She was like them dangerous. She gonna get in on my nuts, my nigga nuts. And she wiggled that butt, and she tried to fucking strut. And I said, what's up? I'm barking like a mutt. I'm up in them guts, 69 in the cut. You know about that G, and you know I'm about to strut. Head up to the mall, playing basketball. And I'm laying down the law, and I'm too cold for y'all. About to make your body unbody straight, crawl for these balls. Coming through the water like, look, it's Joe's.
Where did that come from?
That was good, bro. I was like, looking like some pixies. And I knew this bitch named Trixie, and she looking like some pixies, and she
Suck some Dixies.
sucks some pixies.
What the hell was that? That was amazing. That was beyond. That was beyond.
That's a whole vibe. That's what you call a whole vibe, man.